Hey there, hello and welcome. It is Madeline here. Super excited to be here with you as always. And today I'm going to share the truth about anxiety. Okay, so the end of the year is approaching, the end of a decade is approaching, and my 10-year anniversary is approaching. So I've been thinking a lot about where I've been, how I got here, and where I'm going. And this is particularly of interest to you because 10 years ago, right, it'll be 10 years ago in January that I suffered from a nervous breakdown, right? So if you haven't heard my story, I was wound up really tight. And in January of 2010, I came apart at the seams. And I was really sick. And it didn't happen overnight, right? So today I want to share a little bit of my story with you, and more importantly, the solution, proven effective solution to rid you of your anxiety once and for all. So I shared my story not long ago, and it's in the Facebook ethers somewhere if you'd like to see the whole thing. But essentially, I'm going to give you a quick recap of essentially my earliest memories were of fear, okay? Because my mother suffered from anxiety, my father suffered from anxiety, dad medicated it with alcohol, which led to psychotropic drugs and, prescription medication from the psychiatric medical field, and ruined his life. So, and then anxiety is behavioral, right? So there's one of the truths about anxiety, right? Is that it's behavioral and essentially it's all in your mind, right? So, and I can hear some of you saying, oh, don't tell me it's all in my mind. I have these symptoms and I feel sick and I don't feel good and I go into panic. I have chest pains. I have headache. I have migraines. I have headaches. I have dizzy spells. I have periods of where I can't breathe. I'm a hot mess. I get that. But all of that this is the truth, my love, right? So all of that is a result of your stinking thinking. Okay? So as I mentioned, right, you don't get to the state that I just described overnight. Okay, it happens over a lifetime. And that's what had happened with me, right? It happened over a lifetime for me until it got to the point where, and then you just fuel it because you don't know any better. You just fuel it. The symptoms get worse and worse and worse until you can't stand it anymore. And you have a breakdown, or you go to the doctor, maybe, which is what I did, right? Because I felt pretty bad. I went to the doctor. He prescribed antidepressants and tranquilizers for me, called anti-anxiety medication. There's no such thing as anti-anxiety medication because anxiety is a behavioral issue. It is a thinking problem, and that negative thinking causes the symptoms that you feel badly, that make you feel anxious and sick, okay? So, and that's another truth about anxiety is that, we often wonder, what came first, the symptom or the fear of the symptom. And what comes first is the negative thought process, okay? And then that leads to the symptomology in your physiology, and then that fuels the anxiety, and then it's this vicious cycle of feeling badly, right? Of I don't feel good, I'm anxious. I have physical symptoms, I'm anxious. So, and that's really the key, right? So I talk to people on calls all the time, and my clients come to me often as suffering from panic attacks, to the state where they're suffering from panic attacks. I don't want you to get that. I don't want you to get that bad. It doesn't have to be that bad. Back in January of 2010, I was in a perpetual state of panic attack. I had symptoms all the time. I was so sick. I didn't think I was ever going to feel like myself again. And now I'm fabulous, right? Now I'm fabulous, and I'm here to share my secret formula for fabulousness with you. So, but anyway, back to, what came first, the symptomology or the thoughts. So essentially, anxiety is your physical response to negative thinking, right? It's the fight or flight response gone astray. Okay, so you've probably heard about the fight or flight response. This is what happens in our physiology when we are perceiving a danger, right? Real or imagined, right? So this is a beautiful way that our body works, and that if we are in trouble, right? If we're in danger, right? So back in the day, it was, being chased by a saber-toothed tiger for lunch. Today it might be, let's use, you're getting held up by, you're getting mugged in an alley by a deviant, okay? Our body, I'm using extreme cases, right? Because that's what the fight or flight response is designed for, right? And so essentially what happens is our body goes into this mode where it gets us primed to fight, right? To either fight the danger or run from the danger. So what does that look like, right? So that looks like our blood pressure starts to increase. Our breath becomes more shallow. Our brain starts to secrete cortisol and adrenaline, right? Because we're going to need that adrenaline rush to fight or run from the danger, right? Our digestive system starts to shut off. Our blood pressure starts to rise. I'm not sure if I said that. Our blood starts to thicken. So, if we're cut, we don't bleed out. Okay, so again, this is, like if we're in real trouble, this is fabulous. So essentially what's happening in the fight or flight response is that all of our bodily functions that aren't necessary to run or fight are shutting down. Okay, and everything that is necessary to run or fight is amping up. Okay, because our physiology wants to be in a prime state in order to run or fight the danger. Okay, that makes sense. It's brilliant, right? Our creator, we are amazing creatures, and our physiology is spectacular. So again, however, this response is not meant for our everyday modern trials, right? Of deadlines and traffic and cranky coworkers, cranky children, cranky spouses, cranky myself, not getting enough sleep, not being true to yourself. Okay, so the deeper issue is usually anxiety is usually from a deeper issue. Okay, maybe that'll be a topic for another time. So we get into the state, and then when the danger subsides, our body returns to normal. Our physiology, our bodily functions return to normal. But what's happening in society today, 40 million people, 18% of the US population, I'm not familiar with the worldwide population, is suffering from anxiety. So what that means is that you have triggered, right, that those people have triggered the fight or flight response so often and so frequently that it doesn't have time to return to normal. So you're spending more time in this physical response. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Right? You don't have time to return to this physical response. So our body stays in this heightened, anxious fight or flight state, and then you're feeling anxious, right? And then the more that you trigger your fight or flight response, your stress response, so I'm going to say stress response from now on because that'll be easier than saying my repeating fight or flight response. The more you trigger your stress response, it becomes a hairline trigger, right? The easier it is to trigger, right? Then the less it takes in order to trigger the response. I hope that makes sense. So, and then if you trigger it a lot, like we do, right? So if you're suffering from an anxiety disorder, and I don't want to use, like I don't believe in that label, but I know that the medical profession is using it, that the psychiatric profession is using it. So I'm going to refer to it for purposes of this conversation. All right. So if you're suffering from anxiety and you're having the physical symptoms make you sick, right? They're frightening in and of themselves. I know, I've been there, right? You think you're going to die, you think you have some crazy disease, or that you're going to be sick, and or that you're going to die, because if you're having panic attacks and you can't breathe, you're feeling dizzy, you feel like the world is going to end. I get that. So it takes a lot to mitigate that and to combat that, but I have a solution, my lovely. So I think that's it in a nutshell about what I want to tell you about how anxiety works. Let me know what questions you have if you're on the line or if you're watching the replay in the chat, and I will do my best to get back to you regarding how anxiety works in our physiology and in our mind. But I hope that I've made clear that it starts in our mind, right? It starts in our mind with these thoughts that trigger the stress response, and then we have just been hitting that stress response again and again and again, where eventually, and it takes 4 times as long for our bodies to recover from stress as it does to get into fight or flight response. So just think about how often you trigger the stress response in yourself, and then you never give your body the chance to return to normal or healthy. And then you suffer from anxiety. And I get that it's a vicious cycle, right? That you're feeling sick because you're having crazy thoughts, and you're having crazy thoughts because you're feeling sick. Okay, I get that. I've been there, and it's a tough cycle. It can be a tough cycle to break, but I have a system to break it, right? So I did the work, I did the time, I did the, I did the vacations. I didn't do the medication. I was blessed not to do the medication. If you're on medication, it's okay. I can still help you. But if your doctor is giving you antidepressants, don't do it, right? Don't do it. Come talk to me, because that can be a slippery road that once you get on, you never get off. That's what happened to my father, right? And that's what happens to the people that I talk to on a regular basis. I hear on a regular basis from my callers and the people that actually work with me, my clients, that, I've tried them all, Madeline. No, they don't work. I still feel bad. And now you're taking this medication that is altering your mood, right? It's dangerous and it's scary, but we can fix it. I promise you that we can fix it, and fast. My system is fast. It took me years, right? It took me years to heal my anxiety. And what I have done is I have put everything that I have learned, I put everything that I have learned in a proven system to get you results fast, right? So if you were to, that's what we do in my Primordial Power program, right? Is we give you back your power, right? Because I know that you're feeling that anxiety can make you feel pretty powerless. But today my goal is to give you hope that you can have your power back, and let you know that you can have your power back. So if when I said anxiety was in your mind, if that rubbed you the wrong way a little bit, and you were thinking perhaps that it's not in my mind, I feel really sick, and I feel really sick in my body. I get that. The good news is that anxiety is in your mind, and that's one of the few things that you have control over, that you have power over, okay? You have the power to control your thoughts. You have the power to control what you say, what you do, what you think, and even what you feel. But that's what you feel is one of the harder ones. And what you think is one, they're all pretty challenging, I'll admit. But what you think, it all starts with what you think, right? Because your thoughts are the fuel for what you say and what you feel, right? So the power has to start in your mind. And I have built my Primordial Power program to start in your mind, and so you can get control of your mind. I said this yesterday, I think, and a few times. My brother sat right over there, and he said to me the few words that changed my whole life and put me on the path to healing naturally. Okay, naturally, without any drugs, and that was get a hold of your mind. Get a hold of your mind. And I knew that if I got a hold of my mind, I could be well again. I could be healthy again. I could be happy again. I could be powerful. I could step into my power again. And thinking back 10 years ago, stepping into my power was a stretch, right? That was a long ways away. But let me tell you, my love, I'm certainly in my power now. And I would love to show you how to get into your power as well. And I was going to, how long have I been talking? Oh my goodness, I could go on forever. So I was going to talk about why, traditional remedies don't work. But I'm going to save that for another day, right? Like medication, talk therapy, vacation, spa days, and retreats. Okay, I'm going to talk about that at another day. Okay, but this is the work that we do in my Primordial Power, right? The goal is to heal you of your anxiety. Know that you can be completely healed from your anxiety, and that the key is to stepping into your power and taking control of your mind, which will then allow you to take control of the rest of your being, to include your body, your physiology, and your health. And I invite you to schedule a brief power session with me, right? So we can talk about how I can help you step into your power, reconnect to your power, take back your power from the thief that is anxiety, because anxiety is a thief. It's a liar and it's a thief. There ain't nothing good about anxiety. Again, unless you are, no, that's not even anxiety. That's just the fight or flight response. There is nothing good about anxiety. It's a thief and it's a liar. It lies to you into thinking that this is the way you have to be. And it's a thief in that it steals you of your power, your joy, and your health. And I'm here to tell you that you can have all of those things. You can have all of those things and more, because you're meant to be, do, and have everything that you want. And in my Primordial Power program, I have developed a system based on everything I've learned to heal myself. I'm now helping heal others, and we do it fast, okay? You could be feeling better in a weekend. Okay, and I invite you to get started now. I mentioned last week that enrollment for my program to begin in January is open now. Enrollment is open now, and you want to start now. A couple of reasons why you want to start now, right? January is too late, okay? And January is too late because January comes and goes like that, and most people don't set out to do what they set as goals for January. So you want to start now for a few reasons, okay? So you want to start now because it's the end of a decade, and you can start now by taking control of your life, taking the first step and taking control of your life and booking a power session with me, okay? And I'll put the link in the comments below, and you do that by going to MadeleineCorrea.com/apply and grabbing your spot, okay? Booking a power session and grabbing your spot. And you want to start now so you can end the year and the decade on a high note, okay? And so you can start feeling better right away, okay? And I have some bonuses for those who start in December, okay? So you can start feeling better right away. And so by the time January rolls around, you have already got some momentum built, right? I will teach you some tips and tools that you can start implement in your life right away that can get you feeling better right away and have you build momentum. So by the time January rolls around, you are positioned to really take charge of your life, your health, your mind, and your world, and get your joy and your peace back. Okay, so if you start in December, right? If you start in December, you'll get an extra bonus session, one-on-one bonus session, onboarding session with me, right? That others, if you don't wait until January, you'll only get one, okay? And you'll get the rest of December for free, okay? So we are halfway through December. You'll get the rest of December for free, and your program will officially start until January, but you get to start right away, okay? So I invite you to book that call with me. Go to MadeleineCorrea.com/apply and book a time to talk to me so we can see so I can help you take the first steps to stepping back into your power, right? Which will reconnect you to your peace of mind, to your health and well-being, and being the badass that you know you are, okay? So I'll put the link in the comments below. I hope this serves you. I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hopefully I'll look forward to talking with you soon. And until then, I will see you in the gap. Namaste. Be blessed. Mwah.